Today I'm going to discuss the gatekeeping theory. The concept of gatekeeping is how news becomes news. Typical gatekeepers were journalists and editors, and they were to choose what is newsworthy. It's a top-down methodology. Gatekeepers base their information control on their own personal preferences, experiences, and biases. These decision makers filter the information being consumed, and then they create the specific standard of information. The key points today are the history of gatekeeping, algorithm-based services such as Google, and gatekeeping today with regard to journalists, amateur journalists, and algorithms. In 1927, Harold Lasswell published a study of propaganda campaigns in the World War. The study set the stage for gatekeeping research. He says who, what's the channel, who's it going to, and what's the effect. Then Kurt Lewin began the gatekeeping theory and posted a two-part article called Human Relations, where he studied how the housewives of World War II decided on what food to feed their family. Then in 1950, David Manning White applied this theory to the media. He was a journalism professor. He studied a specific person who was an editor of a paper, and for a week he had that person take notes and as to why he put some things as news stories and why he did not. Such as maybe too sad, or too red, or too whatever the notes were, and figured out that the editor's experiences, attitudes, and experiences really affect what they choose to be newsworthy. Today, the regular gatekeepers, such as the editors and journalists, have to share the stage with Google, Facebook, YouTube, and other Twitter, etc. They're algorithm-based services, and they shape what public interest is by the rules of the coding of that algorithm, such as popularity or timing, or how engaged you are with a specific post. There are billions of things that happen every day, but only a few become news, and the gatekeeping theory basically says, what is that process? There was a whistleblower called Zach Voorhees who said Google has keyword blacklists. So if there's blacklisted on keywords, then you're not going to get the information that you're looking for. So that just puts into perspective the amount of usage we do with Google, and what are their processes for the information they give us. Google is making decisions on what becomes up in your keyword searches. So they control the narrative in a sense, and how you create your own thoughts and what you think on an issue. Today they have this just shows the overlap of what our gatekeeping is. There's an overlap with regular people, networks, professional communicators, and basically the social media platforms. News selections greatly changed since the dawn of the internet. Now with the algorithms, blogging, social media, there's a lot of citizen journalism, digital platforms, and non-journalistic content creators have put this theory into transition. We did not have the phenomenon such as viral posts before, participatory journalism, which makes us all gatekeepers. Algorithm-based services are channeling information on the web. Amateur journalists are at a disadvantage because their typical source of information are the algorithm-based services. They can still report good information. However, they should cite where they're getting their information so that can be fact checked and verified. Traditional journalist platforms, they are perceived as credible. Perceived credibility affects the adoption of the content into collective consciousness, which puts corporate conglomerates at a steady advantage of influencing public opinion. The common public is not trained to understand the sources of their news consumption, so misinformation is hard for them to disseminate. But people are getting better at that, by the way. So in the end, how to stop fake news. Consider your sources. Read beyond what it is they are reading. Check on the author. What are the supporting sources is my main way to do that. Check the date. Make sure it's current. Is it just a joke or infotainment or another sort of advertising scheme? Check your own biases. Ask the experts. In 2020, as we approach the election, keep in mind what has been discussed as far as how to verify what's real and what's fake, and what information you are consuming that develops your own opinions. We've already have been told about the effect of Facebook on the 2016 elections, and there's another election coming up. So these platforms get stronger and stronger with biases. They have the echo chamber because they're going to keep feeding you information that you're interested in through your clicks and engagement. So that is just confirmation bias, and the algorithms are set up that way. So fact check, look at opposing views, have discussions with other people, because people with other opinions, their algorithm gives them different information. So you might get a piece of information that you would not normally have gotten by keeping an open mind, fact checking, and going to different sources for your news. Everyone's a gatekeeper today. And it's important to know the gatekeeping process, how you are a gatekeeper for yourself and for those around you. Thank you.